Today you're going to hear 5 artistic mistakes I made, so hopefully you don't have to. We'll get started with having a cynical point of view. Doing a lot of theater in New York and Chicago, experiencing a lot of rejection, lots of no's, and I was seeing people who I thought weren't as talented or funny or skillful as myself rising through the ranks, and I developed a bit of a chip on my shoulder, fairly resentful, and it bled into my own creative process where I wasn't creating because I didn't see the point. What's the point of doing X, Y, or Z if someone is going to supersede me? That prevented myself from feeling curious or adventurous to learn more, to expand my skill set, to try and improve. So how do you overcome a cynical point of view? I think depending on where you're at in life, there's a lot of different ways to do it, whether it's self-help books, therapy, accepting where you're at in your life and mourning loss and being generous with yourself. That really does help. And a great way to get out of it is creating work, doing one gentle thing for yourself, having a treat, watching a movie you love, seeing a painting, doodling. No one wants to hang out with someone who's just bitter. Another mistake I hope you never make is resenting the artistic community you're part of. When I moved to Chicago from New York, jaded from all my failures and shortcomings in New York City, that I just wanted to focus on doing the work specifically for theater, and I really didn't go out, and generally avoided developing a community consciousness. I just thought I was above it all, and I honestly thought the merit was all that mattered. I missed opportunities by not showing up and being involved and being generous with the community I was part of. So when I notice that I'm not participating in the community, I ask myself why. If I care so much about the art I make or the films or the craft that I'm into, wouldn't I want to be around others who are passionate about it? In terms of trying to get more involved with community, learning about it, looking for events, or creating one, whether it's quarterly, monthly, or a couple times a year, create an event where you can share your work, do a screening at your apartment. If you lean a little bit more toward the introverted side, maybe it's knowing it's a couple times a year or once a month. Be present and engaged with your local community. But it's just important that there's a bit of risk and vulnerability in showing up. Just real quick, if you found some of these mistakes helpful, please like or subscribe. All right, back to some more mistakes. Comparing myself to others. I would go through these periods where I would look at artists, filmmakers, theater actors I admired and compare my abilities, my look, my talent to them. And what ended up happening is I didn't want to do anything because I felt so insecure and so small and so untalented that it just, felt depressing. So how do you stop comparing yourself to others? First thing is always awareness, becoming aware of when I was comparing myself to others and gently reminding myself that they live a different life. I'm only seeing a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of the picture. They might on the outside look successful, but I don't know what their inner life is. They might have family issues or money issues or mental health issues. They might have paid a heavy price, and to just focus on one thing and say, hey, my life is bad because it's not like this person, really wasn't a good thing. To understand what price I'm willing to pay, what balance I'm choosing. I could have success sooner, but I'm choosing a different lifestyle, spending more time with family or friends and having a kind of balance that someone else might not, who's just constantly grinding. Focusing too much on perfection, hiding it under the guise of I just want it to be good, when in reality it was an excuse to not complete something out of fear of the perfect ideal of it. I would spend months on something that probably only needed to spend a few days on, and it would prevent me from moving, growing, getting started. And focusing on the byproduct would be a problem for me because it would rob the joy of the process. I would be too worried about what the end experience is going to be like for someone watching it or seeing it, by focusing less on the quality of the art or film and more on how I can be as joyful in the process while doing it helped reshift my priorities. Here are some things that helped me get out of a perfectionist mindset. Inviting myself to do something as poorly as possible. There's a certain glee and whimsy that starts to develop if my intention of writing is to write the worst piece of ever. It becomes a lot of fun. And another reminder is also creating more and more. The more I create, the less I think about the past, and the more I let it go, the easier it is to just move on and not rely so much on all the eggs being in one basket. And lastly, perspective, thinking about the end. That helps me when I get too hung up on the small details. If I imagine myself in my deathbed, I'm not really going to worry about a thumbnail or a caption or the framing size of this particular photo or image, because hey, guess what? In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. So having a bigger context can sometimes help get over the fear of just creating. I am still struggling with putting myself out there, sharing the work. I had a plan to create a YouTube channel and launch it December 2020, and it is December 2022, and I have finally posted some videos up. It's really hard to share work. There's so much psychologically going out, fear of rejection, fear of failure, the work not being good enough, and it's been just a terrible fear of mine. Is it's just gonna live and die on my hard drive. Screenplays, short films that are just sitting, collecting digital dust, because I'm too afraid to put it out there. And there's a lot of whys behind it, right? Perfectionism, judgment, insecurity, uncertainty. What will strangers think? They'll think it's trash, waste of time. Why am I putting this out in the universe when no one's gonna watch it? There's a lot of reasons to not do it. It's not easy. So what can help you put stuff out there more? I don't know. I'm still struggling with it. I think for me, doing more, thinking less, not worrying so much about quality, just being willing to enjoy the process, self-help books, therapy, watching way too many Gary Vee videos, making sharing part of the process and learning to love that part of the process will help. I'm still trying to figure it out, but please, if you've heard it 300 times on all the different other social media platforms, this is just one more reminder. Put yourself out there, feel vulnerable. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you liked what you heard today, please like and subscribe. I'm hoping to post every Friday for the next, I don't know, forever or not, we'll see. And if you've hated it, also would like to leave a comment. Maybe this video is my mistake.